Hello everyone, I'm Kurt, this is the Vector W8 Garage, and I'd like to welcome you all back. This is, I believe, episode 12 now we're on, and this one's going to be a bit of a murder mystery, crime solver episode, so I hope you'll stick with me and we'll figure out who done it. Seems to be a bit of a mystery out there on the internet. One gentleman who reviewed this car was very perplexed by a couple of items on the interior, and we're gonna try and investigate those items in a bit of a whodunit series here, and try to figure out what's going on inside that car and see what's really there. So I hope you'll stick with me and have some fun with this. All right. So here we are, inside the interior of a Vector W8. Kind of a strange place for us to be, but there's some interesting questions that need to be answered out there. And I hope I can do that for us. What you see here is a seat. Not just any seat, it's the driver's seat in a Vector W8. Now, as far as seats go, it's quite a nice seat. It's got these funny words on it. It says classic. Kind of crazy. Now, why would it say classic? I mean, the car was brand new back in 1992, and yet the word classic on the seats. Now, somewhere in the car, there has to be an answer to the question. How did the word classic get on the seat? And why? Well, Vector Automotive purchased seats from a manufacturer. The manufacturer was Recaro. Interesting. So, this was Recaro's top-of-the-line seat. They also had a orthotic seat that they produced that was just about as expensive. Back when this seat was new, you could purchase the cloth version for $2,249 from Recaro. And they had a couple of different colors you could choose for that. There was a faded orange center insert in there with black cloth exterior. Or you could order it in leather. So leather was about $2,700, a little over that, $2,749 per seat. So think about that back in the mid-1980s. Cost of that one seat was a pretty healthy down payment on an automobile. Cost of two of them was just about the price of an automobile. Pretty darn close. So to use those, pretty unique for the time. Now, we had a gentleman by the name of Steve who was our upholstery guy at Vector Automotive. And he would take these seats and make some pretty significant changes to them. The seat bottom itself, he would resculpt all of the foam in them, taking out a tremendous amount of height, considering what you've got for headroom in this car. So he would typically reduce these by about an inch, which is good. You know, it's in a car with a very low stature such as the Vector W8, you need every bit you can get for anybody that's sitting here. Now let's kind of hyphenate that by saying this car was truly designed around one person. Jerry Weigert was pretty much the ergonomic test subject for the car. So lucky for me, he and I were about the exact same height and about the exact same build. So as far as this car goes, it fits me like a glove. Most people don't fit in it because it's not meant for very tall people. Jerry was 5'9", I'm 5'9" also, and so that's about as good as it gets for interior height. Any taller than that, than your quote-unquote average human being at the time, and you don't fit in here very well. I've had a lot of people who were 6 foot, 6'2", 6'3", get in the car and of course slam their head clean into the sunroof up above and not fit in the vehicle very well. But Steve did modify these. We did try to get every bit of height out of the interior of the car as we could. The other thing that Steve did was embroidered the Vector logo into the back. Now there were 2 different versions of this seat at Vector Automotive. One of them, which you see here, is the nice black leather. All this was done with Connelly hides, again, keeping with the theme in the interior. And this was kind of the best you could get at Vector. Now, there was a version in the early cars that had pleats throughout these areas inside the seat. It was very expensive, very time-consuming. Our upholsterer spent a lot of time making sure everything was absolutely perfect and precise when doing those, but the cost of it was pretty tremendous. So at one point, Jerry decided that if somebody wanted to pay for the extra pleating in the car, that would be an option for the interior, and he would allow that to, someone to pay an upcharge to have that done. Or you could opt for the standard seating, which is what you see here, where it's just, the standard bolsters in the back of the seats. Everything is, the way that it's supposed to be. It matches the way Recaro had produced the seat at the time. So, that gets us to this mystery. Classic. What's a classic? If we look around the interior, does it say classic anywhere else? I don't see it anywhere on the dash. I don't see it on the doors. Gosh, if only we knew. If only there was something that would tell us exactly what classic is. Oh, man. This is confusing, perplexing, and holy cow. I'm not quite sure what that says, but oh, maybe the tag right on the seat here might tell us it's a Recaro Classic. Huh. That's crazy. I believe we solved the mystery. Huh. So, the Recaro Classic, or, as it was known at Recaro, the Recaro Type C. Mystery solved. It's the name of the seat, as manufactured by Recaro. Crazy, I know. Almost unbelievable. But it actually says it on the seat. So a few other features that the seats do have. Button here for seat heat, which was pretty unique for that time frame. This is back and forth, an electronic control for the seat back itself to place it either more vertical or more horizontal, lean it fore and aft. And then this button here is actually for a lumbar support in the seats. They had a bladder inside of them, and the bladder inflates, deflates, depending on which way you toggle the switch. And then you've got 3 settings here, depending on which individual is in the car. So you get your choice. So hopefully it gives you some insight into the crazy word classic that's on these. So, now on to mystery number 2. The steering wheel. What is it? How did it get there? And does it have an airbag? We're about to find out. There it is, boys and girls. The steering wheel. Crazy as it may be, it is round. You can actually steer the car with it. And it does have a couple of horn buttons, which means you can piss off the guy in front of you at your leisure. And it is leather. Matter of fact, it's covered in Connelly hide leather. Heavily modified steering wheel by Vector Automotive. It started out life as a Fittipaldi steering wheel. As crazy as that may seem. So we took a Fittipaldi steering wheel, modified the center hub of it quite significantly to accept the horn, and, crazy as it may seem, an airbag. Now, you have to remember, this was done, truthfully started in 1985-86 time frame, as we were fitting an airbag to get it ready for crash tests. And there it is, the world's first supercar with an airbag. Another Vector first. Shocking as it may be, well, Vector led the way for safety in this type of a car. Now, there wasn't a Ferrari, there wasn't a Lamborghini, there wasn't anybody else out there doing it at the time. It was Vector Automotive Corporation in Wilmington, California, where Jerry put safety as a priority over all other things in this automobile to make sure nothing bad would happen to any of the occupants in the car, well, at least driver-wise. As for the passenger, he still had to fend for himself. But the driver got his own airbag. Now, of course, some things that were very unique at the time were stitching that broke away, so that you could deploy the airbag in a safe manner towards the driver. So the stitching that you see in that steering wheel is there for a purpose and there for a reason. That shape actually helps the airbag deploy like it's supposed to and come out into the front of the driver and save you from planting your face right in that steering wheel. Kind of unique, kind of strange, but another mystery solved. Thanks for sticking with me, because I know those were quite perplexing and I know those were difficult questions to answer. But if you're at all familiar with the car, you might know. So there you have it. Mystery solved. This brings us to the end of yet another episode. I would appreciate it if you hit the like, subscribe, and share buttons. As always, it helps us out on the channel. I'd love it if we could get 100,000 subscribers. So every one of you count. So please like, subscribe, and share as much as you can. It is greatly appreciated. And as always, thanks for tuning in, and hopefully we'll see you next time.